What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu. You are watching TF4 Talk. This is just a web series where we're talking about all things that are related to Transformers Age of Extinction. This is episode 3, and there's a lot to talk about because Transformers Age of Extinction has expanded its international release to the UK. Transformers Age of Extinction opened in the UK last weekend, and I'm really happy and excited for all you UK fans because you guys have been waiting for a very long time. You guys have been waiting very patiently, and finally it's here, and I can just imagine the amount of excitement for you guys just going to the theater, like, you know, just can't wait to watch this movie, totally anticipating the movie, and then coming out of the theater with your mind just blown. I mean, especially if you enjoyed the movie. If you didn't enjoy the movie, then what the heck. But if you did, I can imagine that you might have felt the same way I felt, and that is like, holy crap, this movie is absolutely insane. So anyways, I was just really excited for you guys on Saturday because I was just thinking that, oh my god, you know, a bunch of the UK Ragin Nation fans are probably watching it right now, waiting for the movie to start, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe it's starting. I mean, for me, when I was watching it for the very first day on Thursday, June 26th, sitting in that IMAX 3D seat, I thought it was surreal. I was waiting for this movie for like almost 2 years, and it just felt surreal, like I'm really there. I'm really here right now. All this anticipation has come down to this. So really exciting, and I'm really happy for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. Anyways, let's talk about box office. And we're going to start off with big congratulations to Michael Bay, because it looks like Michael Bay is now the second highest grossing director of all time domestically, because according to BoxOfficeMojo.com, his total domestic gross in all his films that he has directed has now taken the number 2 spot, which was previously held by Robert Zemeckis. The number one spot is held by Steven Spielberg at $4.1 billion. Michael Bay is now number 2 at $2.07 billion. Robert Zemeckis, who originally held the number 2 spot, is now at number 3 at $2.04 billion rather, and then followed by James Cameron and then Peter Jackson. So really awesome. Congratulations to Michael Bay for putting all the time and hard work into all his films, and especially the Transformers live action franchise. I think it's really well deserved because these films are absolutely spectacular, and I love his films for what they are, and that is pure 100% entertainment, and I hope he continues to make more films like these, alright? So there you have it. Now, speaking of the box office for Transformers Age of Extinction, Transformers Age of Extinction is into its second weekend of release domestically, and it has brought in, to this point, $175 million domestically, and worldwide, it has brought in $576 million worldwide, with a huge chunk of it coming from China. Now, this is huge in the worldwide market. I mean, this is like seriously big money. I mean, it has only been the second weekend, and already it's doing more than half of, or rather, it's at the halfway point of beating the worldwide record for the worldwide box office for Transformers Dark of the Moon. It's halfway there. Now, what's really disappointing is that for an Independence Day long weekend box office take for the weekend, there was a huge drop. We're talking about a 64% drop. The first weekend made $100 million domestically. The second weekend, on an Independence Day long weekend, it only brought in $36 million domestically, with not a whole lot of competition. But anyways, looking back at the rate at which the previous sequel was going, after 10 days, Transformers Dark of the Moon brought in $228 million domestically, and after 10 days, Age of Extinction has brought in $175 million domestically. So that is quite a huge difference. We're talking about 50 plus million dollars, and it looks like that the domestic demographic is, I don't know, maybe they're getting a little bit tired of the franchise. But you know what? Hasbro and Paramount, they don't look just at the domestic box office. They look at the bigger picture. We're talking about a worldwide movement here, and right now it is doing really, really well. Now, I originally predicted that Transformers Age of Extinction is going to do $292 million by the end of its domestic theatrical run. It looks like it's going to end at $260 million at the rate that it's going right now. But it definitely looks like that is going to beat Dark of the Moon worldwide. Dark of the Moon did $1.1 billion, making it the highest grossing Transformers live action film, along with the highest grossing Michael Bay film. I think that Transformers Age of Extinction is going to end with a worldwide box office take of $1.3 billion, okay? So I'm calling it right here, run $1.3 billion, okay? Obviously with a huge chunk of it coming from China. Anyways, let's talk about spoilerish material, because that's what TF4 Talk is all about. We're here to talk about the things that we saw in the movie, and we're going to discuss about them. Now, the one thing that is a huge highlight for Transformers Age of Extinction as it was marketed was the Dinobots. The Dinobots were hugely marketed for Transformers Age of Extinction, and a lot of fans have been wanting to see Dinobots since the very first film. Dinobots are obviously a fan favorite for G1 fans. They're a very unique brand of characters, especially since, you know, when we were kids, we loved robots, we also loved dinosaurs, okay? They're very mysterious creatures to us, right? When you combine them together, you get Dinobots. That's like the next best thing. In fact, that's the coolest thing ever. And that's why the fans really wanted Dinobots. Now, the big question that I have right here to talk about in this video is, what is the Dinobots' origins? Where did the Dinobots really come from? A lot of the Ragin Nation has been sending me this question, and that is, where did the Dinobots really come from? It's all kind of confusing. In fact, I'm still a little bit confused, and I don't really have a definitive answer, so all I'm going to do is let's just look back at the events of the film. Now, before I look back at the events of the film, let's look at G1, okay? In G1, Wheeljack actually created the Dinobots, and some of the highlights with regards to the Dinobots in G1 is that they were created by Wheeljack, and then they go a little bit berserk. They question authority, they question chain of command, they go against the Autobots. You know, they're not very smart, and they're easily manipulated. Even at one point in time, Megatron manipulated their minds, and also you know, they just go berserk, and they're very violent, and therefore at one point in the I think either season 1 or 2, the Autobots bring them to Dinobot Island, where they can roam free and just have a lot of fun. So that's pretty much the Dinobots in a nutshell for G1. Now, in the Transformers live action film created by Michael Bay, the Dinobot lore is completely thrown out the window. The Dinobots do exist as characters, but the Dinobot history is nowhere near or anything close to what it's like in G1, okay? Dinobots exist in their own universe in the live-action films, and with regards to where they come from, let's look at the events of the movie. First of all, it starts off with, I guess it's the Cretaceous era of the film, and then the seed that is launched deployed by the creators cyberformed Earth, and thus wiping out the dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs were wiped out by the creators, or rather by aliens. Not by a giant asteroid, not by extreme climate change or ice age or anything like that. They were killed off by the creators cyberforming. The next shot we get, or rather the next sequence we get, is Darcy, who works for KSI, going to the Arctic, and then she discovers there are dinosaurs that have been cyberformed, and the material that they discover is transformium. Okay, they're cyberformed with transformium. You see Scorn. It's not Scorn, it's a Spinosaurus, okay? You see a Spinosaurus and you see a T-Rex, okay? And automatically, the fans, or rather the audience, we are led to believe that that's Grimlock and Scorn, okay? It's not. These are just random dinosaurs that have been cyberformed from the seed, okay? So that's what I gather right away, okay? That's okay. We originally think that, you know, these are Scorn and Grimlock, okay? But later on we learned that, no, that's not them, okay? But there's still some connection to these dinosaurs, okay? I'll tell you about that later on. The next time we have any kind of a scene with Dinobots is when we're in Lockdown's ship, where Lockdown brings in Optimus Prime and puts him in the cage, or rather his prison cell, and then he talks about how he's captured him and is going to include him into the collection along with his knights. Okay, he says knights. Okay, and this suggests that well, actually doesn't suggest anything at first. All it does is teases us and gives us some kind of mystery about these knights, because we see a Cybertronian hanging upside down. We don't know who it is, but he looks kind of vicious. Okay, we just see some kind of Cybertronian hanging upside down. Okay, we just think it's one of these things that he's captured throughout the universe. Okay, but he calls them knights. Okay, so that's our next scene with Dinobots, but we still don't know that these are Dinobots. First of all, they never actually refer to them as Dinobots. They're called knights. Okay, the next time we see Dinobots, or rather the knights, is when the Autobots in Lockdown's escape pod crash land into the Woolonkar's geological park, and then Optimus he needs reinforcements. So he walks into Lockdown's ship, grabs the Sword of Judgment, and then frees the knights. And then before he does that, he speaks in Cybertronian, and then he says, "The legend exists." Now, who is the legend? What is the legend? Who exactly is he referring to by the legend? I mean, I think that some people might automatically think that Optimus Prime is the legend, but I'm going to say that the legend exists refers to a savior that is going to free these knights. Okay, that's what I think that they're referring to. It doesn't necessarily mean Optimus Prime. It's kind of like how they refer to Neo as the one in the Matrix, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Neo. It could be anybody with that skill, you know what I'm saying, or with that prophecy. So I think it could be anyone who wields the Sword of Judgment who frees the knights. That is the legend. At least that is my theory. Okay, so he frees the Dinobots, and then Optimus needs to show them, or rather establish dominance by smacking them around a little bit, and then he rides them off into battle, into Hong Kong, and then they roam off free. Okay, but the one thing that is very important for us to remember is that Optimus Prime is giving them freedom after they have been captive for so long. These knights that Lockdown refers to are ancient Cybertronians. Okay, he's been wanting to capture Optimus Prime along with these knights for a very long time, and finally he's captured them, and now he can add Optimus Prime to his collection of knights. Apparently, Optimus Prime is one of these knights. Okay, but they don't mention that, but you know, once he grabs the Sword of Judgment, I suppose that he's one of the knights. But essentially, the Dinobots are knights, and these are ancient Cybertronians. Maybe, perhaps, they've landed on Earth a long time ago. Okay, and then we're talking about Cretaceous era, and then they scan the cyber formed dinosaurs. And then their alt modes are dinosaurs, okay? Like Spinosaurus, Pteranodon, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Triceratops. But the thing is that Scorn and Strafe are fictional dinosaurs. It's a Spinosaurus with 3 sails, which does not exist in real life, as far as I know. And I'm positive there's no such thing as a two-tailed, two-headed Pteranodon. So, you know what? It could mean 2 things. It could mean that the Dinobots actually came from Cybertron, and then they scanned dinosaurs, or Cybertronians have dinosaurs of their own, which includes 2-headed Pteranodons and Spinosauruses with 3 sails. Okay, so there's really 2 origins that's a possibility. But at the end of the day, the Dinobots are ancient Cybertronian knights who Lockdown has been looking for, and he captures them like his trophy, just like how he wants to capture Optimus Prime. And for the longest time, Lockdown has kept these knights in his captivity, and finally Optimus Prime, who he refers to himself as the Legend, frees them and grants them freedom. But first he has to do one thing for them, and that is help the Autobots fight the prototypes in Hong Kong or face extinction. And then now they're off roaming free. But where the heck did they go? At the end of all the battle, they just kind of went off somewhere. But where? Did they go back to Lockdown ship, or, you know, to habitat that, you know, Lockdown ship? or inhabit Lockdown ship, rather. What am I talking about? Inhabit Lockdown ship? Or where did they go? Did they just roam free into the forests of China? You know, it's all kind of silly to me when they just roam off free, because these are wild beasts. They need to be tamed, otherwise they're going to be stomping all over cars. And, you know, speaking of which, I'm pretty sure there were some human casualties when the Dinobots were charging in Hong Kong. And so there you have it. My theory is really not anything definitive. They don't really tell you the true origins of the Dinobots, or rather the Knights. All they tell you is that they are Knights, they're ancient Cybertronian Knights, they've been captured in Lockdown ship, and their dinosaur modes are, or rather their alternate modes are these overgrown dinosaurs on steroids. Okay? That's all they tell us, but they don't tell us the actual origins, okay? Even at the beginning of the movie, that was just like something to mislead you to think that the Dinobots were found, or rather were cyberformed a long time ago. But we don't actually see a direct connection with that opening sequence, alright? So that's left still for interpretation, and that also means that they could appear in Transformers 5, and they could give us, you know, more of the Dinobots. But let me tell you something, and that is Aaron Kruger originally did not want to put Dinobots in Transformers 4. He wanted to leave it, or rather save it for Transformers 5. He wanted to do something entirely different, which did not include a Dinobot story. I mean, at the end of the day, he put in, or he wrote in as much of the Dinobots as he could into his Dinobot-less movie. Okay, he did the best he could in putting as much Dinobot screen time as he could. Okay, and I think that after seeing what I saw, the Dinobot screen time was probably 5 minutes, 6 minutes or less. I don't think it's anything more than 6 minutes. I don't think it's anything less than 4 minutes. Okay, but at the end of the day, we probably just only saw Dinobots for 5 minutes in the Hong Kong battle. Okay, so there you have it. Do you think that is pretty accurate, what I said? If you don't think so, let me know in the comment section below where you think the Dinobots really came from. I mean, based on what we saw. I mean, I'm just taking the information that I saw from watching the movie 3 times, so that's what I gather. I mean, there essentially were only 4 sequences with the Dinobots in them, or rather, the dinosaurs, right? The opening sequence, okay? Then the scene in Lockdown ship where he says that, you know, I can put you in the collection with the rest of the Knights, and then Optimus freeing the Dinobots, and then, of course, Dinobot charge in Hong Kong. So there's only really 4 sequences where we can really gather hints as to where they really come from, okay? And there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. There's definitely a lot more to talk about. The next episode in TF4 Talk episode 4, we're going to go back to talking about the toys, because there's actually quite a few new releases. And then afterwards in TF4 Talk episode 5, we're going to go back to talking about the movie, because I still have some more questions. So if you have any questions, make sure you submit your questions in the comment section below, and maybe I'll answer them for you in the next episode. And by the way, thank you for all the support from the Ragin Nation, to everybody who has been sporting a t-shirt, a Ragin Nation t-shirt right here, limited quantities while supply lasts. If you want to purchase one, if you're from North America, that would be Canada and USA, click the links on the description box below. And if you're from anywhere outside of the USA, you can click on the same links, but be sure to click the bottom link where it allows you to pay for additional international shipping. Okay, it's going to cost a little bit more to ship internationally, so first you click the link that's appropriate to your shirt size, and then click the international payment link to increase, to rather add on international shipping, all right? And there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for episode 4. Peace. It just arrived by Space Bridge. Now, did you know that there's an organization called SETI, S-E-T-I. That's a